I am an empathy ambassador. The more I learn about empathy, the more that I see it is a path to peace and plenty for everyone on the planet. So I want to share with you what I know about empathy, or bits and pieces of what I know, and invite you to become empathy ambassadors as well. So let me start with why, let me start with that timer being turned on. Thank you. Let me start with why I am even interested in empathy. And I think it begins with spanking. I grew up in a loving, affectionate family in an era when spanking was considered okay. So I had 2 spankers for parents, and I had 2 older siblings who were hitters. Most older siblings are hitters, I think. So as the youngest, and as someone who has a really low tolerance for pain, I created a defense mechanism against all that hitting, which was to simply hold my breath and pass out. I can't do it anymore, but I used to do it a lot. And the trouble with that was when other people were being hurt. So, you know, you picture I'm there and my brother's bugging me and I'm starting to whine, which of course makes my dad angry, and he goes for his belt and suddenly I'm screaming, "Don't hurt him, don't hit him, don't hit him, please." And to no avail, my brother gets a spanking and I feel like it's in my body. So obviously I was empathetic as a child, as I think most children are. And then there was television. I liked Hee Haw. I liked Carol Burnett and Laugh-In and all those variety shows where people were singing and dancing and having fun and being nice to each other. And my family liked Hawaii Five-0. To my 9-year-old self, that was just a bunch of people being mean to each other, and I could not figure out for the life of me why anyone would want to watch that. But I couldn't convince them to watch Hee Haw instead, so I would go up to my bedroom and get in my bed and pull my magic shield up to my chin and lie there and sing. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. So fast forward to adulthood. I became a peacenik, a vegetarian, and an environmentalist, because I didn't want to hurt people. I also didn't want to hurt animals or really anything in the biosphere. I became that person who stands and steps in the middle of a fist fight between strangers. I became the person who intervenes when someone is mistreating a child in public. And I was definitely that person who spent hours and hours and hours organizing against every war, every occupation, every invasion, every you name it that had to do with violence. And then I saw a bumper sticker that said, "I'm already against the next war." And I knew my life had to change because I so identified with that bumper sticker. I realized that it was exhausting making war on the war machine, and it was exhausting fighting violence, and it was exhausting hating the haters, not to mention just a tiny bit counterproductive. So this was about, I was in my late 30s, early 40s when I discovered this, and I thought, I think my peace work needs to be about preventing violence by increasing empathy. So what I have found is that I'm in really good company with that. There's a man named Jeremy Rifkin who is just a brilliant, all-round great guy, thinker, and world changer. And he has done studies that connect our modes of communication with our empathy circles. And through the whole of human history, what he's figured out is that empathy is increasing. Our ability to have a bigger and bigger circle is increasing. And right now in society, what that's tied to is the fact that we have the internet and that each of us can communicate with everybody else on the planet instantaneously, or anybody with some kind of device. So what he has figured out, or one of the examples that he used, was that when the earthquake hit in Haiti, within an hour, people were twittering about it all over the world. Within 2 hours, there was phone video coverage of what was happening. So that within 3 hours of that earthquake hitting, the entire world was reaching out in this empathetic embrace of Haiti and saying, we want to help. What can we do? What I really love about that is that it's not a rarity. Because there's this other guy, Steven Pinker, who has been studying violence, and and throughout time again, and what he has discovered is that violence in every form, nations warring against each other, genocide, terrorism, crime, all forms of violence are actually decreasing all over the world, and that we live in the most, or the least violent time that's ever existed on the planet. So this increase in empathy, or our capability to be more empathetic, and this decrease in violence has made me much more hopeful that we can connect on a global scale to fix our global scale problems and enjoy our global scale wonders. I think what I want to do now is talk a little bit about what is this thing, empathy, and how do you feel it, where is it, and how do you manifest it, so that we can all do that more in the world. So what I know about it is that it begins with body data, body knowledge, and body wisdom. So as you're sitting there in your seats, just think about what is going on in your body. Is your butt numb? Are you getting a little hungry? Is your arm warm where it's touching someone else? That's body data. Your body is gathering it and processing it all the time. So when you gather a bunch of body data together, it becomes body knowledge. So for instance, you've been sleeping every day of your life, so you know some things about your sleeping habits, whether you're on your side, or your tummy, your back, window open, window closed, all that stuff. That's body knowledge, so data gathered over time. Body wisdom is when you take the body data and the body knowledge and you apply it to make your life better and to make other people's lives better. So let me just give you a little demonstration. For the next little bit, I just want you to observe me, but more importantly, pay attention to what happens with your body data. For dinner. Oh, ow, Ooh. So what happened? To some extent, whatever was going on in my body was going on in your body. That's empathy, and it comes from mirror neurons in our bodies, that operate in our whole central nervous system. That literally, what you observe, you feel as if it's happening in your body. So that's empathy. That's one way that we are connected body to body. So I want to actually show you another way that we are connected. And this involves everyone standing up in silence and turning. Yeah, and Sean's going to help me here. I'm going to demonstrate another thing. So stand up and turn to someone next to you or near you, in front or in back of you. And you're just going to basically hold your hand up and press palms together. So find somebody to press palms with. Good job. Just feel the connection. And then quietly, without talking, you're just going to separate your hands about 1 inch. And notice that you can still feel that connection. It might be like a little buzz, a little vibration. It's subtle, but it's still there. The connection is still there. So now draw your hands apart maybe a foot. You can still feel that connection. Drop your hand and drop the connection and get it back. Drop it again and get it back. Thank your partner and have a seat. So the thing about that connection was that you didn't create it by touching palms with someone. All you did was invite your awareness, invite yourself to be aware of that connection. Because that connection is the one you have already with every single person on the planet. You can't destroy it. You can't create it. It just is. What I love about it is that it gives me hope that world peace is within our grasp. If we use our body data and our body knowledge and our body wisdom to increase that connection, increase the empathy, decrease the violence, we can have world peace. I knew that at 9, and I know it even more now. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. So please join me. Become an empathy ambassador too.